Good? Everything's good? I bet. Oh, man. So, you know what's funny? I do know your name, but I'm like really nervous right now because if I do fuck it up, I feel like you're going to hit me or you're going to leave. Which one's
No,
gonna be?
I'm used to people not getting it right.
Are you used to people hitting?
Yeah.
Used to hitting people?
Hitting people? No.
Oh, okay. All right. You say used to, so I'm like, oh,
Nah. This ain't Ike and Tina. I need you to relax. I don't hit people.
Okay, I'm just saying. You look like you got hands. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
But anyways, welcome everybody to another edition of Convos with Bishop. My name is Marvel Bishop. As always, we are here in a beautiful city in Brickell, Miami. Appreciate everybody for the YouTube viewership, for the SoundCloud, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, all of them.
All of it.
Excuse me. Can I get my shit off? Like,
go ahead. My bad.
Oh, okay.
All of it.
Damn, I hate when I get cut off on my. I'm joking. So, I'm really excited right now. Not only because I get to love what I get to do what I love because I'm having a conversation, but I'm having a conversation with this lovely individual here, and also, we probably known each other indirectly for the past 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, for sure. In passing, saying hi.
In passing,
cordial.
Used to take care of my clients in
course.
said clubs. You know what I'm saying? It says maybe like 1 or 2 sentences and that's it.
Yeah.
Yo, do you remember the time at 11? Can we talk about this?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, you remember the time at 11 where I had my client? It was like a
waitress there.
Wait, no. Oh shit. My bad. She is a cocktail VIP server. Okay, please, for God's sake.
11.
Yeah.
I've worked at
Shouts
11,
out to the dancers, but
yeah.
you know, respectively.
Server.
Do you remember? Jordan. So I think I had like a $75 or maybe $8,000 table, and we were there till like maybe 4:30.
Fun nights,
right?
Fun nights, always.
All I remember was that your guys were trying to like sell the extra table, like the add-on.
Yeah, of course.
And then you came to me, and the reason I wasn't really mad at you, I was mad at the whole situation.
Of course.
They told me that we can have it until, and then you came up to me behind me, right? You know where like the little lower VIP is. You're like, Marvel. So I have a question. I have a question.
Is that what I sound like?
No, I mean, not really, but yeah, like, hey, I have a question. Can we get the extra? And I just shook my head.
You're like,
I didn't say anything to you.
He said nothing. I get it though. You were doing your job, top flight security of the world. I give it to you. You're making sure you host. You make sure you host and make sure that they're getting the bang for the buck. I get it. Just like they were trying to finesse
Does that reflect upon you when like things like that doesn't really happen? Like, or it's just you're just a messenger? I've always wondered that.
It doesn't really reflect on us. I mean, obviously you want to capitalize on every situation, but at the end of the day, it's like you're not there to rob the person. You're there to like make sure that they have a great experience. So, I mean, it was more of just a general question, but you can't take the word no personally.
I want to apologize now. Because
don't.
I felt like I should have like said something because I was I wasn't mad at you.
No, you were just like,
so
no.
angry. I didn't say. I just shook my head.
You're just like, nah.
I just did this.
But completely understandable. That's not the first time that's ever happened. And like I said, it's like just the business, at the end of the day, like you take the no's, you keep going. It's like they still made money off the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, did you still have a good time? I knew it was like,
wonderful.
It was always
real talk. You're like one of the like the best waitresses there. No, for real. I like for real.
Live Miami. But, yes.
Thank you for the correction.
Yes.
But Miss Cadija,
yes.
how are you?
I'm amazing. I'm amazing.
How's
Thank
your
you
mental
for
health? How's everything? How are you feeling?
Great.
You know what I'm saying? Everything's good?
Yeah, I feel really good. I feel like I feel very blessed right now. I feel very productive. I feel like every day I'm just striving to be better and better. So I can't really complain, especially in the midst of everything that's going on. Most people don't have the blessing to wake up like that every day and feel like that. So I feel great, honestly.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
I'm actually glad to be alive.
Me too.
Like real talk.
I like to do death-defying things for some odd reason, but like at the end of the day, when you are done with them, you're like, wow, I'm actually pretty happy I'm alive.
So as far as death-defying things, like what do you like? What have you done?
Have I done? I've been skydiving twice. I've swam with sharks in South Africa in Cape Town. I've been
like shark killers, like
shark killers. No, like great white sharks.
Like great white sharks, the one that attack you, like.
No, I don't. Obviously, I wasn't.
Well, you're not the only one in the world, so it's like.
But the ones that attack other people, yes.
Okay, all right, cool.
I've done that. I've been bungee jumping in Zimbabwe. I went over Victoria Falls. What else have I done? I sat in the Devil's Pool, which is actually on the edge of Victoria Falls. It's a waterfall.
Okay.
So you like sit in this pool and the water's like still, but literally it's like the edge is there.
Got you.
But I don't know. I love adventurous things. I love like trying new things. Like the last time I went skydiving, I actually went skydiving in the morning and I had a photo shoot at night. So
does that actually have to do from like deal with your demographic, like where you're from? Because you're originally from Arizona, right?
Yeah, Arizona.
So
born and raised.
It is like, okay. Are we for school wise? What are you? Are you See, I'm Pac-12. I'm fight on all day, baby. Ooh,
Big
boy.
12.
Whoa.
Big 12 for
Big
me.
12? So you know Arizona.
Well, it was like the Big 10. It kind of went
no
through all this
University of
stuff.
Arizona, no Arizona State.
No. I mean, like Arizona State. Listen, I ride for Arizona because I'm from Arizona. No, I didn't go to. I didn't go to Arizona State though, so it didn't really.
So Big 12. What team?
Texas Tech, but it's not bad. But I'm from Arizona.
Michael Crabtree, right?
The head coach of the Cardinals right now is actually the football coach at Tech too.
Oh, word.
Yes, Cliff.
Okay.
He was there at one point, but no, I mean, I rep Arizona. I don't even care about Texas at all because, it's a moment in your life, honestly.
Yeah.
But I rep Arizona because, like, I was just born and raised there, like, that made me who I am. It made me the person that I am. It's, like, kind of helped me carry that true identity into Miami. I've never really lost the sight of being that Arizona girl. It's not like it's any more spectacular than any other person, but I think that, like, my mindset from being there and from there is completely different. It's made me different in a lot of different ways.
So let's talk about your beginnings then. Pretty much, being from Arizona, and like how did that transition from Arizona to Miami? How did that happen?
Well, so oddly enough, so I was born and raised in Arizona. I was actually adopted, so I grew up in the foster care system, and then I was adopted. And then I went to high school in Arizona. When I went to college, I went to Texas for a little while. And then I went back to Arizona. And then you kind of like realize that everybody is pretty much in the same place that you left them at. You know what I mean? And like being adopted, I don't really have any like family connections. Like my friends have really been more so family for me. So when I decided to leave, I was like, I need to go to the furthest place possible. You know what I mean? Because I just wanted to start over. You need a fresh start. You know what I mean? Like there's never been anything really tying me down. So like six and a half years ago now, I was like, I'm either going to go to New York or Miami. And I don't like when people bump into me. So New York.
So you definitely, listen,
so New York is not going to work.
I'm from New York, baby. So you definitely can't handle New York.
I was definitely not, because then I might have really been swinging on somebody. So New York wasn't for me. So I decided to come here. And it was rough in the beginning, but I feel like every story is never glorious in the beginning.
So when you say rough, like
when you come out here, it's just dog eat dog. If you're not plugged, if you're not connected, it can kind of be a little bit harder to get the ball rolling and your feet off the ground and stuff like that. And you do need experience in certain fields or just with certain people or, to get to certain places, to get to certain levels. Like even just working at Live, that was an amazing opportunity for me, like pre-pandemic. But at the end of the day, it wasn't like that, even that job, like I couldn't just be like, oh, I'm going to be a waitress and then go work at Live. You know what I mean? Like you got to get used to high volume. Like that's when I put my grind time in at 11. I was there for 3 years. You know what I mean? Like, and then,
3 years? Okay. I thought it was a little bit longer. Okay.
Yeah, it was like three and a half years.
Okay, got you.
And then, but it was a long time, you know what I mean? But that helped me deal with, that's a huge venue, you know what I mean? And there's also a very well-known venue in Miami, but it was great. It looks great on your resume because it's like, if I can survive there, or if you can survive in Vegas,
work anywhere.
You can work anywhere.
So, me, because I'm originally from New York, I came here in 2009. So I always ask like this one question when it comes to everybody that comes here. Because
I have a philosophy on that.
Say what?
I have a philosophy.
I want to hear your philosophy.
On New Yorkers and Miami people.
You know what? You just, please, go ahead.
My philosophy is, so first of all, I feel like New York, y'all are sharks. You got to be sharks. You don't just go out there with no plan. Like you have to bring something to the table because you need to understand that everyone else is bringing something to the table. Out here, I always said, people go to New York to be somebody and people come to Miami to pretend to be somebody. Okay, because this is glitz and glam. This is not the real world. You know what I mean? And that's why people get caught up and stuff. And like, yeah, the pandemic happened, but you think about all of the opportunities that we have the money that we make and how quickly it touches our hands, and it touches Balenciaga's hands right after.
Yeah, the
it's
fastest we get it is the faster it can
the
go.
faster we spend it, but
Yeah.
it's because we're so caught up in what everyone else is doing and the glitz and the glam of what everyone else is doing, and you kind of you get caught up in like wanting to stay up to par with them because
got you.
no one wants to feel less than. But at the end of the day, like that's why it's the Miami standard. You know what I mean? To like look rich instead of actually be rich. Like you need to be rich to be successful. Not even just successful, like because you can be poor and build a name for yourself in New York by any means if you grind. You know what I mean? But there's a discipline that comes with that you don't need to live in Miami. You literally could be a size 2, have nice tits, and have gotten the perfect nose job, and you just got a great job. You know what I mean? Like you get hired for something, or just for the beauty of it. You know what I mean? Like New York is about brains and grind, and that's why there's so many people hitting your shoulders, and there's a little bit more patience and grit, and just you gotta have. You know, it's like
the intensity over there, especially like in like the city, is way more like
more. You guys are like
quantifiable. Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? On the go, stock market, all that stuff.
Listen, I've been here since 2009. I love Miami to death, but I've been here in Brickell for the past 3 years, and Brickell, people say like, oh yeah, it's like New York. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers have no idea. Clue.
First of all, you're paying $4,000 for a flat.
Yeah,
okay, let's talk about that.
Like I pay the money that I pay, which I get like a 800 square foot. I'll probably get like a 400 square foot in friggin' in like Brooklyn.
Literally,
You know what? Everybody's actually like moving out now too, which is kind of the crazy part.
Moving out where?
1,000 people a day, 1,000 New Yorkers a day are moving here to Florida.
Well, I don't blame them. Like even I think there was like something in the news about the housing market. Like they have to lower the how much rent and stuff like that is. First of all, because New York is insane.
Yeah, it is.
To generate money to pay for that rent, for y'all to like. Good on you. I never attacked.
Well, I never lived in the city. I lived in the suburbs. But even in the suburbs, like
it's still like you still it's the hustle and bustle. It's like it's a grind out there. It's a continuous grind. You know, you can get very complacent here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You meet the right people, you rub the right elbows, and it's great because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, like favors are worth way more than money. You know what I mean? True. Which is like it is. So even out here, like favors can get you pretty far. That New York, I don't really. Unless you get in favors from people in high places, those are the ones that matter. You know what I mean? But
So do you feel like people in Miami have more of a mentality with like just trying to get like their every single buck right away, or trying to build a relationship and do the whole like work for work, or like the barter system?
I think that like the basis of a lot of people's relationships out here per se is like they will appease you to benefit them. You know what I mean? So it's about the quick. It's about what's in it for me. With the quick return. You know, there is it takes you a long time to really create the relationships where there's some sort of longevity. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like this isn't real life. This is not like this is all a fantasy.
True.
You know what I mean? Like the rent you pay, all this stuff is excessive.
But why isn't it real life though?
It's not real life because you see how quickly a major part of Miami shut down from a pandemic, and it's because a lot of our money is pumped through hospitality and beauty and that market, and just like the glitz and the glam and the fun, and the pool parties
taken away.
And it literally was taken away like that.
Yeah.
And women like me are losing 6-figure jobs and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I was making a vodka soda. You know what I mean? Like I was facilitating a party. But again, that's where the complacentness comes in. You know what I mean? You're making all this money for 5 hours a day for just like literally 20 hours a week, and you're making buku money. You're not saving it. It's going out quicker than it's coming in, and then guess what? Pandemic happens and you get slapped in the face. That's why I said this isn't reality, because like something like that should not have impacted the entire state in the way that it did, but it did, because we are a hospitable state, period. Everything's hospitality, everything.
Got you.
Rent the Ferrari, rent the hotel room, rent the girl. You know what I mean? Everything's rentable. You know what I mean? Like you don't they're still partying and stuff like that in New York, but there's more deals happening at the strip clubs in New York than there will ever happen in Miami. You know what I mean? Like real deals, like real estate deals, buying buildings, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the conversations are different out there. Definitely, or really anywhere. Like this is nice. This is a beautiful fairy tale that I've been able to live in, but this is not real life. Like this is not. You can't live this life in North Dakota.
So
it ain't gonna happen.
Did you find out about this quote unquote fairy tale when you first moved here, or did it like kind of like hit you? Like you were like, oh shit, okay, like Miami's definitely not what everybody is like. It's like cracked up to be, or like this is how it is when it's like it's really like this. Because I know a lot of places in Miami that's not like this whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like I think like the misconception that people have of Miami, which is this. But I can definitely take it to the real places in Miami.
No, I mean, of course, every
yeah.
place has like the true authenticity and stuff like that. But I'm saying like the bubble that we're in, where we've made the masses of our money. To be honest with you, you have to be honest with that. Yeah, you can go to Hialeah and you can all those in the authentic, like you can find the authentic whatever.
Got it.
You know what I mean? But like where you spend most of your time, the people you spend most of your time and energy supporting, helping, whatever, where you're making your money, it's in this fairy tale.
Miami, Brickell,
Exactly.
South Beach,
Exactly.
Edgewater.
It's exactly.
All that stuff.
It's in this fairy tale land. You know what I mean? Because this is where the market is. This is where the money is. This is where the people are at. This is where you need to place yourself to be the most successful.
Got you. So to me, Miss Cadija, when I first, pretty much, met you, like you seem like a type of person that's that is a people person, but at the same time, like it seems like you don't really fuck with people at the same time.
I just feel like
as far as like being an extroverted, introverted.
Yeah, for sure. I
Okay.
feel like there's a balance. I feel like you decrease your value when you allow too much access to yourself. You know what I mean? And I feel like not in a cocky standpoint, but like I personally try my hardest to bring value to people's lives, and I know what I bring to the table. I'm not talking about like experience wise, but just like personally. And I know the energy that I like to put into every relationship that I have. So yeah, I am more of a high and by this and that, because at the end of the day, like every interaction you have, where if we just haven't, if I say, oh, hey, how are you? And you start ranting about all of your negativity or anything that just happened, like I'm putting that on my shoulders. I'm absorbing that. I'm allowing myself to be a part of your life in that way. And I feel like it shouldn't be for everybody. You know what I mean? And like, I don't think that I'm very, obviously I work in hospitality, so I'm very hospitable, but it's only to a certain extent. Like there are people that will learn and be a part of the deeper depths, like part of me, and there are people that only get the surface level. But I feel like everybody should kind of live like that, And I also understand too that obviously I'm a very statuesque woman and stuff like that, and like I take pride in myself, and some like it shows, you know what I mean? But I feel like I get it. It takes a little bit more confidence to want to start a conversation with me or anything like that. But once you do start talking to me, you see I'm very welcoming. I'm very able to have a conversation, all of that stuff, But again, I just feel like it ain't for everybody,
Yeah,
I don't want to be for everybody.
No, definitely not. Because if you're going to be for anybody, then like you'll pretty much like anybody can pretty much dupe you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just don't allow that. And also like the people that I do allow in my life, they stay there. You know what I mean? Because I've told you, like I mentioned before, I grew up in the foster care system. I'm used to the revolving door of people in and out of my life. I got used to that at a very young age.
So like with your life, right? When you pretty much, you were adopted, and did that pretty much prepare you to become like a lot more numb to people coming in and out of your life?
Yes, absolutely.
More, okay.
So it not really numb, but it made me more realistic in the area, and understanding that like sometimes, like to not take it personal, like sometimes they're leaving for them, not because I'm the problem. It might be something that they're going through, or there's a cap to what they can provide, or whether it be like intellectually or whatever it is. Like there's a reason why people leave and people stay. You know what I mean? And you just have to compartmentalize it all and not become emotionally attached to every reason why. Like it's not all about me. I'm not always the problem. Like it just made me real, honestly. Like I understand people go, people stay. It made me real about love, life, relationships, all of that stuff, And it's kind of helped me a lot. It's kind of like decrease like the blow up of a lot of situations of when people have walked in my life. But you get to a point, it's really crappy to say, but like I'm adopted, so my own parents didn't want to be in my life. I had to accept the fact that the person, my creators, could walk out of my life. So like I had to become very real about every other person that's in my life. You know what I mean? And the expectations that I set for them in my life,
Yo, you know what's fucking crazy? And usually I'm always right about this, but 9 times out of 10, when I actually look at a person that like is adopted, you know what I'm saying? Then I wouldn't even know that you were adopted and you know what I'm saying? Because so what I'm getting at is that it seems like you're like you had a pretty fucking dope like foundation as far as the family who did adopt you.
No, absolutely not. Like you would never even guess.
All right, okay. So,
Absolutely
okay.
not.
All right, so please.
But that's what made me. You had no idea.
No,
Like,
because you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah,
because
yeah,
a lot of people don't really have that like psyche and that mentality and that foresight to not be fucking mad at the world. Because I know people who are in the foster care, who are adopted, that had the same similar situation as you, and that is just like running terrors.
So I wouldn't say that, like, honestly, I think that it was probably one of the best things that could happen to me because it made me, it was a horrible experience. And even when I was adopted, like, I love my mom. She's amazing. But, like, I was adopted by a very busy woman. My mom's a lawyer. She's the vice president of a law firm, actually.
Okay.
And she works in aerospace. So she's been very 60 hours a week. You know what I mean? So I've been very, like, you don't know how to swim? Cool. I'm going to push you in the pool and you're going to learn. You know what I mean? I moved out when I was 17 years old. I've been on my own since I was 17. I'm 27 now. So I've been doing this thing called life for 10 years. You know, so in the beginning, like I said, like there's trial and error, but at the end of the day, like I didn't sit there and say like, woe is me. Okay. Why did this happen? Because yeah, of course you go through like a period of your life where you do think like that. But at the end of the day, like when you start to self-reflect and really want to be a better version of yourself, you have to pinpoint where your problems are at. Yeah. And I started to recognize where my problems were at because I was angry. I did have a chip on my shoulder. I was like what's wrong with me? You know what I mean? I'm adopted and then I get adopted by an even busier woman, you know what I mean? And then I'm learning how to cook and do all these things at a young age, but it made me very independent and self-reliant. You know what I mean? And like, that's why I'm saying, like, I had a lot of experiences at a very young age. Like, I've been homeless. I've done everything you could possibly, like, anything bad that could possibly happen to you has happened to this girl. But the difference is that I did not let it define me. Now, I have brothers and sisters and stuff, and their situation is a little different than mine is. But it's like, I was blessed to never give up on myself. Because at the end of the day, like, another saying that I have is a casket does not have bunk beds, okay? So you need to live for yourself. At the end of the day, everything that you do, you need to live for yourself. Because when you die, you are going to die alone, okay? And a casket does not have bunk beds. So I live like my truth. I live who I am. I try to be the best version of myself, and I present that to people. And it just is what it is. Like, I'm very real. I'm very blunt. I'm very, like, forward and authentic because I'm not trying to be like, I'm very happy with who I am, and I came to like through all of this crap that I've been through has made me who I am, and it's made me very loving towards myself, and like the relationships that I've built have helped me build the love towards myself. So I wouldn't say that like I came from an amazing, like when I got adopted it was amazing. My mom loved me. She did the best that she could, but she was a busy woman. But in the midst of all of that, like,
so there wasn't a father?
I've never had a dad. Nope, never had a dad. Never. Okay. Never had any. Like, I've never really had parents. Like, I don't do Thanksgivings. I don't do Christmas. I don't do any of that stuff. But I am the friend that has a Friendsgivings. I am the person because I created that's why I came this far. I came all the way to Miami because I wanted to create my own world. I wanted to create my own friends. I wanted to create my own foundation because I never had that. I never got that. And if you don't have something, you go and you get it. Or go-getter goes and gets it, and I'm like that. I'm a hustle, I'm a grind, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to get to where I need to be. That's the difference between being good and being great. I'm gonna be great regardless because I know I can count on myself. Yeah. And that's why I'm sitting here in front of you. You would never in a million years know all the stuff that I've been through because I don't wear it on my sleeve because, like I said, it doesn't define me. It just made me better. It made me, and I get to be blessed to be a part of your life and be able to share my story with you. And again, you would never guess, but it's great. You're going to remember me. You're going to remember this, and it's going to make you feel better, make you feel like you could possibly do anything that you want because you've seen an example of somebody that's in the midst with you, and I've been in the mud before, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely had a lot of trials and tribulations.
Everyone has, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. And, you know, didn't know my father up until 5 years ago. That was, you know what I'm saying, kind of crazy. And,
but like, how does that make you feel? Like, do you, as a man, honestly, I've had these conversations and I read a lot of books on perspective because I try to understand men and women. Like I try to get it. And they say that like, it is hard for a woman to be a man, like to be a dad. And like you haven't had a father in your life. You haven't,
I had my grandfather. My grandfather was pretty much like my father figure. But like,
you had like a father, but I'm saying it's nothing like a father.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like a father is a father, you know?
I got you.
So like, they say like it's like your mom obviously tried her best and your grandfather tried his best to be the substitute, but like does that, like, how did that affect you? Like, does that define you, not having your dad, even him coming back into your life? Do you feel any sort of like violent switch in your emotions?
So the thing with me is that the father who I thought was my father is actually my brother's father. So
Your
that
mama was fucking the milkman.
What? No. My father was out here wilding.
Edit that out.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good. I mean, hey, listen. I mean,
I'm sorry. I be saying some reckless shit.
No, you know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? Real quick. My mom would be like, yo, like I did my thing, and what the fuck you gonna tell me? No, my mom is like literally like y'all two have a fucking blast. Yeah. Like for real. But that was funny.
Sounds like my kind of woman.
Yeah, she's dope. She's definitely dope as fuck. But like so when I was pretty much growing up, I grew up with my grandparents. I grew up with my aunt. They're the ones that raised me in New York. Now.
So you still had a family.
Yeah. Right. So I still had a family basically, but like I pretty much had like a lot of like built up emotions because I never was really taken care of by my mother. You know what I'm saying? So like
I understand. I completely understand.
Of course.
I had babysitters, so she was always like employing people.
Yeah.
And she would buy like the top. Oh, I'm buying, and I'm like,
Yeah,
you're buying me somebody to hang out with me, or someone to take care of me. So I understand.
And then what was the crazy part is that 5 years later after she had me, she had my brother. So as soon as that motherfucker, which Anthony, I love you. But as soon as that motherfucker was pretty much born, I was like, oh, okay.
So this motherfucker want to have another motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, all right, so you talking about like you couldn't really take care of me, but now you have another kid.
So we just an easy bake oven. We just popping them out.
He's out here just just dishing out dishes. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
we just dishing.
Wait, what? Like, yeah, exactly.
Whipping and flipping the brick over here, like.
Nah, but things. Yo, you're funny. But things happen at the end of the day. We definitely kind of like reconciled that, and she's definitely one of my best friends now. She works for my company and everything else too, and she helps me out. So
keep it in house.
Try to.
Okay.
Are you a person that try to keep things in house?
My house is me. So yeah, it's all up in this house.
Okay.
Me, I like I just was telling you earlier, like I am blessed to have a new mentor, but honestly, like I guess like when you're younger, you struggle with finding people that influence you to want to be a better version of yourself in a way of where they can speak from experience, and like obviously like I've started a new business venture, so right now I'm just kind of really focusing on like my mind and like what I want, and like now I feel like I've got a trusted individual that I can kind of like balance more so my personal obviously I have like social media, like people that are helping me and stuff, but like it's different when I'm talking about the stuff that I'm writing on my personal pad and what I'm really trying to do, but yeah, I'm just me under the house right now. Eventually I obviously want to bring other people in, but that's something that I struggle with sometimes, is like I'm always trying to help bring people along the ride, you know what I mean? And like sometimes that's the detriment of myself, but I feel like
you know the problem with that is, I think when you try to put on other people, is that like motherfuckers don't stay in their fucking lane.
Yeah, they just be all swerving up in the traffic. It's like, stay in your own lane. There ain't no traffic. I'm gonna be here, but then they just try. But it's like they get comfortable, overly comfortable sometimes, and then sometimes it's like constructive criticism or input can be, good, but sometimes it's like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. People
actually do need to learn how to shut the fuck up at times. They really.
I'm sure that you need to learn how to shut the fuck up
Me?
too sometimes.
Why?
Everybody need to learn how to shut the fuck up.
I mean, I do. I mean, on my platform, Convos with Bishop, I don't know if I shut the fuck up.
He said, if it said Bishop, that shit is mine. Okay.
No, honestly, you know what's funny? I'm actually really glad you said that, because I've actually learned to pretty much speak less very recently.
But that's good. Like, I feel like it's
self-evaluation. You know what I'm saying?
I'm all about self-evaluation. Sometimes I'm overly critical, but I'm all for it, honestly, because like that's how you improve on yourself. Like when you can sit there and you get to a point where you can seriously look at yourself in the mirror and be like, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what I need to do. And like the best part is like I write a lot. I love journaling. I love just like, it's like phones, everyone's addicted to their phone, but computers, I'm very old fashioned. I just need to write it down. I feel better if I scribble it out.
So you're the type of person that writes down their goals every day?
I don't write down my goals every day, but I do monthly goals. And then I have like a calendar that I write down all of my stuff on. And then I have like my 365 days of gratitude, which is like, shout out to Brooke for one of my best friends. She got it for me for my birthday. So like I get to write like all the things I'm thankful for the day and stuff like that. So then it kind of reiterates what my goals are and what I accomplished that day. And it just like asks me like what made me smile, what things I want to remember about the day. So it's not that I like goal set daily, but like I, give myself daily affirmation for the goals that I reached that day, and by physically writing it daily. So I kind of just like, hey, good job, you're grinding. But remember, you have this goal now. It's kind of tomorrow. Let's do that again, But I'm all about goals. I do like 1 to 3 month goals, 6 month goals.
Okay.
Like yearly goals, 3 to 5 years, anything you can put down. If you have anything that you want to do, just write it down. You never know when you're actually going to pick it back up and start doing
Definitely.
it.
One of the things that I'm actually like finding about you right now is that you got this like this really like this infamous like and it's like eternal not eternal, I'm sorry, like infinite like fire in you. You know what I'm saying? That,
I've been like fueling it myself, this whole time. You
now,
have
obviously
to.
we spoke about like pretty much where that came from. But as far as like your new business venture right now, you're pretty much trying to get into fitness and everything else too.
Yeah.
How are you translating that fire into your new business?
Honestly, just like every day, like I'm just working on marketing, like just, creating a name for myself and really putting myself out there and covering myself on all bases, like making sure that I'm knowledgeable in my field, like continuously practicing not only on myself, but also like with my clients, just really broadening my horizon. Like at the end of the day, like knowledge is wealth to me. And I feel like I just because I'm not sitting there and grinding physically, it doesn't mean that like my mind isn't grinding, that my like like that something isn't constantly like working in my body and my mind or something. Like I'm always like thinking about what else I can improve on, what's next, this and that, especially with like, I'm breaking into the fitness world. Like I started personal training and stuff. And even in that, like I've picked up clients with no marketing whatsoever, just word of mouth, but that goes to show like who I am to people. It's good because it's
definitely
like
your personality and who you are and how people value you.
Yeah, how people value me. And then another thing is that like I live by example, especially when it comes to fitness. Like it's not like I'm trying to tell you anything that I'm not doing myself. I'm in the gym every day. I'm eating well. I'm eating clean as hell every day. I only eat pizza on Sundays. That's the only cheat meal that I have. Like I'm constantly just living by the stuff that I'm also projecting. You know what I mean? So
even the last time that I saw you to now, you look good. Like I'm saying, I saw you. You're
it was like a little
getting
it's it's good, and it's like I understand my body bounces back a lot faster than most. Like I used to run track, so like I've kind of been in shape like this my whole life, but I still am improving daily. Like my physique is still improving. Like I'm practicing daily. I'm still doing everything just daily. Like, especially in the fitness world, I'm still learning more about nutrition, just like everything you could possibly think of, just like looking into courses I could possibly take. Cause obviously I want what's best for my clients at the end of the day. And I want to be the best version of myself while I'm doing this, because this is something that I've realized that I have a major passion for. So like, why not dive headfirst into it? Just like I would anything else in my life.
Where does that passion come from?
Just sports in general. I've been running track. I ran track for 16 years, like literally from yay high up, and it's just when you're an athlete, but like at that level where you just eat, breathe, sleep, it trickles into my life. It trickled into my personal life and that competitiveness that I've always had. Like it's just something you can't really get rid of. You know what I mean? Like, even if I'm playing badminton, I'm like, Serena Williams. Like, I don't care. Like, you're not going to beat me. If it's Dave and Buster's, it's just like something. It's like, I don't know. It's like this, like,
You might have to do, Jordan. Like, we actually may have to invite her on Friday for Uno night.
Uno?
Yeah.
Nah, man. I haven't drawn four zones.
And get worked. For real.
I'm like, Papa! Uno night. I'm down with the Uno.
Fridays, we try to do like a little bit of a game night. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. Who trying to get their ass whooped?
Yeah, for real. He almost ruined. But anyways, we'll get back to that. So, man, I don't even know how to begin honestly with this topic right here. But obviously, being an entrepreneur and doing your own thing and having a business is fucking wonderful. But for some people, it's actually been a very, very trying time because of the pandemic and because of everything. Now, I want to know, you were saying how like you were a waitress at 11, then you were a waitress at Live, and then pretty much the pandemic happened, boom, stopped. Money just pretty much stopped. How was that experience for you? Because I feel like I don't really talk to anybody in the nightlife industry that has pretty much have it been impacted too. Because we literally went from working almost every night to having normal lives now. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but that sounds like a positive to me. That doesn't like for me.
For some it is. For some it is. But some people I know personally that was in the nightlife, like they had to go back home. They actually became homeless.
Yeah, people are like, they're losing everything, but that goes to show what I was talking about. Miami, this is false reality, and people don't, like, obviously no one can physically or mentally prepare themselves for the whole government and everything to shut down. You know what I mean? Like, never in your lives could you possibly think that. But, like, at the end of the day, like, that's your responsibility to always know that you have yourself on the back burner. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a pandemic or if you break your ankle or something like that, like, that's what that rainy day money is for, you know? And, like, for me, when I first moved to Miami, like, I was humble about the places I was living in, the car I was driving, all of that stuff. Like, I did the roommate thing. Like, I kept my head down. I got to a certain amount of money, and then I was like, cool, guess what? It's treat yourself. Let's go. So now I live by myself. I have an oceanfront condo. Like, I drive a Mercedes, but I grinded. Like, when I came out here, I was like, I'm not going to get caught up in all of this, because guess what? If a pandemic happens, when they told me to go home, I said, ooh, I crip walk home. And I was like, peace. This is great. This is great for me. This is going to give me time for me to become a better version of myself. Like, what do y'all mean? Like, I get to go home? Like, bye. Bye. You know what I mean? Like, is my job going to be here when I get back? And guess what? Like, people are sitting there thinking that, like, the world's going to open back up and it's going to go back to normal. Absolutely not. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, I always plan for the future. I always plan for if it's going to go good or it's going to go bad, because things have gone so absolutely wrong for me in my life before that I will never let it happen again. I've slept on the floor, for God's sakes, like literally, like slept out on the street like that. But then again, like that trickled into like my life now. Like when I was working at 11 for the 3 years or so I was there, I did the charity for the Chapman House, which is the homeless shelter. But it's because I've been homeless that I understand like what it feels like to be them, and also understand the blessing of where I'm at now, you know? And like this pandemic, yeah, cool. Like nobody wants to pay rent when they have no money coming in. But like for the longest, the government was giving us quite a bit of money. A lot of people were making more money not working. Obviously not someone like me. No, not someone like me. But I definitely was not making more money like outside of the pandemic. But guess what? It's like, cool, you get a couple extra $1,000 free money doing absolutely nothing.
Where do we get a couple thousand?
Unemployment.
But you know that like a lot of people did not even get unemployment.
Okay, but yes, but that's what I'm saying. But because of that should turn that fire on in you to, okay, so what else am I going to do? Well, how can I generate money? Like that was what it was for me. When they told me, hey, the pandemic happened, I can completely understand that. So what's Cadija's next move? Which brought me to fitness. I started to sit down and I sat there and said, like, I took some real time to figure out exactly what I wanted to do, because I didn't want to jump into anything prematurely. Yeah. And I know that like when I get into something, I have a fire in me and I have to like completely conquer it before I feel successful or anything, you know? So I was like, what do I want to do? What would benefit me? It's not always just about me, you know? I love helping people. I love making people feel good about themselves. I love, even if just partying or anything like that, like I love that aspect of things, you know? And then I figured out that fitness was good for me.
But that you know, that fire and that, you know.
It's not in everybody, trust me.
Well, we're talking about you, Miss Cadija.
Okay, we're talking about Cadija, yes, okay.
Yes. Let's get a little deeper though. Let's
Sorry.
Let's try to get
it's a community.
But where like where does that come from? Like I need like
failure. Fail, FAILURE. Failure. It came from failure. It came from the closest people to me running me into the ground, being my own worst enemies. It came from, like, I had a best friend that I lived with like 10, 11 years ago. First roommate I ever had. She started dating a scammer and they emptied my bank account. You know what I mean? Like, I've had the closest people to me fuck me over. You know what I mean? And, like, at the end of the day, it's like you got to get it by any means. And I learned that young. And I guess it's just the repetitiveness. It's like I just kept working that hustler muscle in me to where it's just natural to me, you know? So it's like I understood who and what humans could be at a very young age.
Yeah.
I understood the capability of people at a very young age because I've, like I said, like time and time again, the closest people to me were proving to me that they weren't shit, you know? So then I was like, okay, you're not shit. I'm going to be the shit. You know, I'm gonna be good at whatever it is. I'm gonna figure it out. You know, so that's just what it is. I don't know.
And to be very, very honest with you, I would have probably had definitely the same mentality for me because I'll look at it like this. First of all, like my parents wasn't there for me, so it's like, guess what? I pretty much came from the bottom, so like you cannot hurt me. Like,
you can't.
like
if you're going through hell, why would you stop in hell?
Yeah,
you got to keep going. Like, straight up. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's for real. I've literally been at the bottom of the bottom. Like, I have, like, my best friend in the whole wide world, his name is Rakeem. He has been there through the nitty and the gritty, like literally from like when I was homeless, like letting me crash on his couch, like, and he has his own life, he has his own babies. He's just my friend, you know? And it's like, he is the only person that was there for me and knows me from there to now, you know? And like, that's why, again, why I bring value to friendships and stuff like that, because like, you don't meet people like that. They're few and far between. And like, everybody was giving up on me and he was my friend. And then but he also motivated me because he gave me faith that, you know, like everybody's not going to be amazing, but when you do find people, like let them be a light in your life. You know what I mean? And you want to be the best version of yourself because now he has kids and stuff. I love being their little aunties. Like I'm about to go to his baby shower this weekend. I'm super excited, like stuff like that, you know? But it's like when you're going through hell, you don't stop there. You just keep going. And most people sit there and they'll stay in hell and they'll cry about it and then they'll give you every reason why they got there and not reason why they need to get the fuck out of it.
We live,
you know?
in a very, very like just like woe was me, victim blame.
Very victim
society.
Mentality.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
And that needs to stop. Like men and women. I'm not even just talking about
both
I'm talking about everybody
both sexes.
Else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
it's everybody's always looking for an excuse why they aren't who they want to be. And it's like the reason why you aren't who you want to be is because of you. You need to take responsibility. Don't you feel like in Miami
that's more prevalent here than anywhere else?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been here for 6.5 years. I don't get that anywhere. Like there's no. So I can go back home and still see people working at Costco and shit. But I don't. It's just like everyone's like, there's an excuse for everything. Everyone has an excuse for everything. You know what I mean? And you make the excuse make you seem like you got the shorter end of the stick. But at the end of the day, like, there's a common denominator and a lot of issues that you have, and it's you. So start with you. You know what I mean? If you can't be the best version of yourself when you're doing an action, maybe you shouldn't do that action anymore.
And also being like the best version of yourself does not also mean that just being like the same version of yourself. Like
sometimes you should be able to
evolve. You need to adapt. You need to pivot. Like if
I'm super adaptable.
I'll tell you this. First of all, it's really like adapt or die. Because if it's one thing in this pandemic, if you do not adapt, you will literally
die. The only the strong survive in life. Understand that, and you need to be strong for yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You. And at the end of the day, like the pandemic, if it doesn't teach you anything, that all the shoes, all the cars, all that stuff,
they don't mean a
goddamn thing. Because guess what? Right now, when you guys are moving back in with your parents and stuff, you look at all the Balenciagas and shit you bought. That could have been your rent. That could have been taking care of the food, everything. Like, people literally throw their lives away because they're too busy trying to look like something that they're not. You know what I mean? When you are who you are, like, that will just, like, it literally will radiate out of you. Like I say, like, you like fireflies. If you're a light, if you keep shining and shining and shining, fireflies will come. They will come. Everybody will come. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need, if the Rolex is drawing you to me, if the Cartier is drawing you to me, then like, I don't need you in my life. I had to spend a lot of money just for you to want to kick it with me? No. How about if I'm a good person? How about if I facilitate a great activity that you want to be a part of? I would rather be that type of person. So that's why, like, the pandemic didn't affect me because I was living for me this entire time. So when it happened, I was like, cool. I was extremely I still am financially stable. This is a great time for me to sit there and start navigating through a different part of my life and see what the fuck I want to do.
And it definitely sets up for, like, for the business adventures that you're doing right now.
That I'm doing now. It freed up a lot of time for me to do this. And now I feel just as fulfilled. Like, I don't make the same amount of money, because if you think hourly I was working 20 hours a week making that money. I grind more and I put more into it, but I feel so much more fulfilled with what I'm doing now. I feel so much better with the results from my clients, people, just anybody in my life. You know, I feel so much more fulfilled with who I am, you know, and like, yeah, the money's great, but again, it's not forever. And boom, they proved it to us. Cause you know what I mean? Like no one knows when this stuff, like they're trying to open up 50% capacity. That's not going to make us any money. That's not, you know, they're only gonna pick up 50% of us back up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many limits to actually entering back into that life that, like, my mind isn't set there anymore. If I'm blessed enough to, if I do get a job or if I'm in the place where I wanna go back to that, I would love to, you know? But right now, I'm happy. I really am. And that's all that matters, you know? And I think the pandemic really did that for me.
Yeah, I mean, I love the nightlife. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah,
I love,
of course.
Like, people. I love, like, you know, partying.
Of course. I love being the reason why y'all having fun. I love pouring all the classe. I love doing all of that. I promise you.
I will say this, like, like, for what I'm doing now with my digital marketing agency, that's, like, the forefront and my concierge is the back end. If it's going to be like that for a long time, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
But
like,
you love what you're doing. Like, yeah. I loved working at Live. I loved working at 11. I loved all of that. Like, I loved being a part of a crazy memory in someone's life. Like, I loved all of it, to be honest with you. Like, I live for that. But at the end of the day, like, I also love when my clients lose 10 pounds. Yeah, I love when they feel better about themselves. I love when they're sending me result pictures. I love that they feel like a better version of themselves. I also love that. You can love multiple things, you know? And right now, like, my heart is just set on what it's on. And it's like, if it opens, it opens. If it doesn't, like, it was a nice run. And I'm super happy with the way that I handled myself financially and through the entire process, honestly.
I got you.
Because they, like I said, they said go home, and I said bye.
That means bye, guys. That means bye.
That means bye.
All right, so no, this has been fucking phenomenal.
Absolutely.
So before we kind of do wrap up, anything so far as like with your business that you're doing, you know, anything you want to like tell right now that like you're kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like.
Only thing I'm doing is really picking up more clients now.
Or any events or anything like that or anything.
No, so I'm like working on some like, I want to create like a couple of events. I want to do like bigger group stuff. I don't want to like spill the beans now because obviously it's in the mix. But yeah, just
And the name of your fitness company?
Cadija Fit. Yes, Get Fit with Deja. You know.
Does it come with this?
No, it comes with a 6-pack.
Okay. Talking shit, queen. Talk your shit. You know what I mean?
Deja Fit, hire me. Yes. So I'm just right now in personal training. If anyone's looking for one, please. I would love to whip you into shape the right way, and you'll love it because it's with me.
Nah, definitely. So before we wrap up, real quick,
we're gonna wrap.
Huh?
I'm just kidding. No.
Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. All right?
I'm not. We're done. I know where to draw the line. It's right there. It's right there. I'm very multifaceted, but I do not know how to rap.
Well, all right. So before we wrap up, so Miss 27-year-old Cadija.
Yes.
If you had one person that is a younger version of yourself, literally carbon copy, and you're able to pretty much give a letter to them, what would you say or what wouldn't you say to them to pretty much, you know, prepare themselves to what is about to come? Like 10-year-old Cadija.
So for their life,
what would you say?
I would tell her to always love herself, no matter what, even when she doesn't feel loved by others. I would tell her to never give up because life is hard, but you're going to make it no matter what. I would tell her to never define life or love by anyone else but what she feels for herself. And I would tell her that I'm so proud of you. That's pretty much it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I would just,
Miss Cadija, appreciate you. Thank you very much. Before we go, I know I said like before we go like 3 times.
Before we go for the 8th time.
All right, don't make fun of me.
Okay.
Not my platform. Shameless plugs. Where can we find you, your business, so we can pretty much drive people to
everything?
Your business?
Follow me on Instagram.
Okay.
I am going to create some cards. I have some cards too.
Nice.
I'll
give
you some.
Please.
Follow me on Instagram at Cadija. That's my name, but it's at ca.dija. Cadija.
Nice.
Learn how to say it. Yeah, everyone, please show love. I'd love it. Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it.
We're gonna do this again.
Follow me on there. I'll give you my phone number,
Please.
email, stuff like that. You can put it out
Cool.
there too.
I already have your number. So.
No, my business one. That's my personal number. You know, we're friends.
Yeah, right. Okay.
My friend. You're my friends. But, you know, to the masses, it's different.
Gotcha.
It's different.
Hey, you did say that.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.